Steve, this is Matt, and if you want to learn jiu-jitsu, where it's probably illegal to do to your teammates who are in an IBJJF tournament, this is the place, my garage. So Matt was setting up like a Darce on me, and somehow I got out of it, but in it, he came up with a different type of neck crank, so talk us through it.
So, on your back.
This way.
So, I forgot how we got there, but there was a scramble and I was getting inside and out. And so, I got his arm pinned here against his chest, my arm under his head. So, I got my chest pinned in his elbow. So, if he's trying to get this elbow back, my weight's stopping him.
Heavy pressure.
So, I can try and go for a pillow choke from here, which I haven't had a pillow choke in years, so I don't really remember. So, I didn't go for that. And he was blocking me with this hand to go for the Darce or the Bravo. So from here, there's a couple options. You want to try and get his spine where it's not in alignment. So attack the crown of the head to twist his head a little bit. And now that he's twisted, I put my forearm in the crown of his head and I can pull up. And that gets a crank mostly. Alternatively, I can keep this same hold. So I've rotated his head so his spine's twisted. I'm going to flex his spine and also sit through. And it becomes more of a diaphragm choke than a crank. So if you want to just crank the neck and hurt him, keep your dick facing the ground and use your back to pull up. I still have to make sure I keep pressure on his ribs here. So I don't want to do this kind of shit. I'm relieving pressure if I bring him up with me. I want to keep him down and bring his head to me, right? And then if I want to do the diaphragm choke, then I'll sit through so my hips are still low but they're off the ground. And then rotate my shoulders. Nice and slow.
So what was interesting, is get back on top, is a lot of pressure. I was really smashed. It was more pressure than this. And so I was pushing up on his ribs.
Yeah.
All right, so he couldn't get the Darce, and it alleviated some of the pressure, and it just kept his hips a little bit higher. But that actually worked against me, especially when you start to set, when you turn the neck.
Yeah.
And so that's key. So even I'm pressing in, that's actually pushing my body down and making me crank myself. Whereas if I were to keep the pressure off, I could probably withstand the crank a little bit more.
Because if he's pushing into my hips, then my weight's pushing this bottom shoulder into the mat. So when I start cranking up, he can't really move.
Yeah.
Whereas if I start to crank, get rid of that arm. And then
It's a little bit easier.
Right, it's a lot harder. From here, I'd have to try and sit through, and then he's got a chance to try and go for my back, or get, it's a little trickier if you're not used to it.
So, that was good stuff. If you're in a submission-only tournament, do it. And if you're at the garage or with a teammate who wants to train this stuff, do it.
Yeah.
But generally in class, unless you're at a catch wrestling school.
Yeah, catch does it all the time.
Later.